everyone, and welcome to Paranormal Surge.
How are you guys today?
I'm doing okay. It's been a long week, definitely for sure. We've had some cold weather over here in the little state of Illinois, and it's been going up and down, but yeah.
It's pretty and sunny here, so you have a little bit of this.
Must be nice. I mean, heck, it was nice Sunday, and we've had anywhere from 50 to 40 since Sunday, and it's like I'll take back the 70s.
Well, we have on Austin Light tonight, and he's a very cool young man, very talented, and I'm just going to bring him on.
All righty.
Hey, hello. Austin. Thank you for showing up and coming and visit us.
Well, thank you for having me again.
Yeah.
It's good seeing you, Gwen and Shawn.
Yeah, it's nice to see you again. Anything new come up since we've last spoke?
Well, not that comes to mind. The Kickstarter's up to about $500. So we got about 250 left before it's funded. It will not go through if it does not get funded. So, there's no guarantees in this world. So, but it has been on track to fund. So I'm confident that it will, and I appreciate everybody's support. And I hope that everybody comes out to look at it and pledge even just a small amount to it. If you are at all interested, it would be definitely worth pledging to, because I try to make everything well worth your money. So
there you go.
That's awesome.
We're trying to help you out. So why don't you just tell everybody what I have the pictures. Would you like me to pop one of those up and you describe what's happening for those who don't know?
Well, you can share my screen real quick. I do have my share screen in the bottom.
I do. There you go.
Oh, excuse me.
It's okay.
I'll just go through my website first real quick. This top banner, if you go to AmericanDemonComics.com, has the Kickstarter link in the image. So you just click on this top banner and it should take you straight to the Kickstarter. So that's easy to get to. And then if nothing else and you just want to see what I'm doing, you can subscribe to the mailing list at the top here and get updates on everything that I'm doing, including, being a guest at the Paranormal Con. So it's a really good resource. Then I have the comic updates itself. So if you just want to read it, you can go over here and read these updates.
Awesome.
These are the full pages on the desktop. And if you are reading on your cell phone, it is in a scrollable format. So I already have one of these updates pulled up right here. So you can just scroll to down to read it. And then it's all split into chapters. And again, it's well worth your time. In via issue 3, from update 1 to now update 11, I typoed there. This is 11, not 12. There are about 35 pages worth of content. So highly suggest going to check it out. I do have the Kickstarter up for the physical versions of it to be printed. And with the physical versions, you get very good deals. And first, I'm just going to go through what we have here. We have the standard cover that I made. And I like to have the main cover be the one that kind of shows what the guts of the comic are. I think it's important for people to kind of know what they're kind of getting into. If you're a big fan and you want the variant cover, these are limited 40. And this is Jonathan McDaniel's art, and he did a wonderful job with his model and photographer. Oliver Skye and Joseph McKay, Mulkey. They did a great job in collaborating for his piece here. And then on down, you just get these previews of what the comic's like. These are not the final pages. So before I go in to send this to print, I go through all my pages and make sure they're kind of like remastered so that you get the correct, if I changed fonts, all the fonts are going to be, there's going to be continuity with those. And then if there's anything that, like, I think a dialogue or line delivery might be different, I might change the dialogue a little bit. It'll still be the same story. It's not going to like change the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the art will be touched up a little bit. So, or some of the art will be touched up. Like this whole page got a touch up for the ground and for the trees and stuff like that. So your final versions are always going to be kind of remastered from my web versions that I put up for people to read for free. Then you have the variant covers, and this first one is limited. I only have 5 of those left now. 2 people have backed the King, so technically I only have 5 of these left. And then I have Adam's issue number 2 variant cover, and now Jonathan's issue number 3. So those turned out really good. These are the stretch goals. So if we were to reach these funding goals past what the minimum is, you'd be getting these bonus rewards. So everybody that backs gets these rewards if this funding goal were to hit at this mark. So at the $1,000 mark, you get this glow-in-the-dark sticker. At the $1,250 mark, you get the Pandemonium Gym Starter Guide. That's a digital PDF for people that are getting started in the gym. And it kind of, I made it the Pandemonium Gym because that's the gym that Envy is going to work at. So it's kind of an in-world thing that I got to play with for this bonus. And it's going to teach you simple things like the hip hinge movement, how that's going to help you with doing squats and lunges, and is important in your daily movement, as well as positioning your shoulder girdle and like your shoulder blades and stuff like that for pushing movements. Really basic stuff that people usually don't get into when they first go into the gym, but it's some of the first things they should be looking at improving. At the 1,500 mark, you get the first 8 pages of my upcoming Western manga style Bigfoot project. So this is the first page, little preview, just so you get an idea of how that looks. And then I have a not safe for work pinup. This is opt in, opt out. If you don't want a naked person sent to you, you can just say no, I don't want this reward. If you do, you get a full res not safe for work version of Fritz there. And all these are, if we reach those goals, everybody gets to have those bonuses. And then on here is some of the good words from some of my friends and comic book people in the community, such as Gary B, the casual comic guy, and Pocan Joe, saying very wonderful things about the comic, as well as my friend Michael, who does a lot of indie comic reviews. The rewards include your digital PDF, so you get your digital remastered version of Envy number 3 just for $6. After that is the signed Envy issue number 3 in PDF. So you'll get basically 2 things for $5 plus shipping for the physical version. Then you have the $15 Envy digital PDF catch-up. So if you are behind on the story, don't have all of them, and you want your remastered versions of the digital copies, you can get that. Up next for $20 is the signed version, plus, again, the digital PDF catch-up. And then we have the $30 variant cover tier. So if you want that beautiful lust cover of variant cover, you can pledge this to this one. I usually sell them for $35 at the booth, so you are getting a deal here. So you're getting your standard version as well as your digital PDFs, or I mean your variant cover as well as PDFs. Then the Marquise is a $5 bump up, and you have all 3 of the standard covers plus all 3 of the digital PDFs. And then finally, you have the King bundle where you get all the you get the digital PDFs, catch-ups, and you get the variant covers, the very limited variant covers. And there's only 7 that I put in the quantity. 2 people have backed it, so there are now only 5 left. In of the issue number 1 variant cover, that one is going. And once it's gone, it's gone. But if you want to collect it, I highly recommend backing the King tier. And that's pretty much everything for this Kickstarter. We're about 250 away from funding, so every little bit helps, and I really appreciate it. And again, I think it's well worth the pledge.
That's awesome. I mean, the way you got everything broke down and set up for everybody for sure. That's definitely interesting.
I want it to be accessible for everybody. And I even I went back just a few days. I added chapter 1 to my website that was not there before. And so I wanted to make sure that when you jump in on this story, you still have all the versions that you can get online. I did release version, issue 1 on social media, like I do all the other ones, but it was not posted on my website, so I had to get that fixed. And then on the about page, I fixed it to have, a synopsis of the story and a little description of each character. Again, that way I'm just trying to help accessibility here. So people jumping in on the story, they can really get to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm just looking at it on my phone also.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Thank you.
He's a heck of an artist, that's for sure.
Envy is I take a lot of the demonology stuff from it. I was really excited last year for the Paracon. I was supposed to do like an interview with Jeremy and Jeff.
Yes.
Jeff.
I can't say his last name right.
Leopard. I don't know what it is.
I can't say it right for anything. But I do know who you're talking about. They were a couple booths down from you. They were actually in front of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeremy didn't show up, and Jeff was like just across from us.
Okay.
But I was excited to do that interview, and I hope that maybe this year I'll get to do it, because I've had to look into a lot of this demonology stuff. And like I told Robbie in this interview that I was in just before, jumping into that was not a far cry for me, because I'm already into like paranormal and cryptids and like a reality that's kind of sci-fi beyond like what we understand, and so getting into the study of the demonologies and like I grew up in church, so I always had the battles going on that we can't see drilled into me. So I really wanted to play on all this, a part of my culture kind of thing, alternate reality, demons and angels and now skinwalkers and ghosts. And so if you're in the paranormal, you're gonna love this.
Oh yeah, I love it already. I'm sitting here trying to look and listen. Are you talking about Jeff Leeper?
Yeah.
Leeper. Would you like to talk to him?
I don't mind talking to them. I was excited because I was thinking that when I was going to get to interview them, that there might be some differences that they have, and I was going to try and see if I could bring that difference out and have them kind of, discuss that with each other.
That would be an interesting show. I was just wondering if you would like to do that for like on here. Yeah. That would be nice. We could try. Definitely could try for you. I know Jeff probably would, but I will find out for you. I definitely will. So this year, are you going to dress when you come to the con?
Yes. I plan on dressing. There are some events that I'm probably not going to dress for anymore. Just because I can't tell if people like if people feel intimidated or unsure about approaching me. It feels like Kiss without the makeup if I don't, if I don't wear it. But at the same time, I also want to be approachable to people. So
well,
I guess I have a question since, I did watch the last show that you were on with Lee and Gwen there. My question is, how did you actually come up with this character? Because, I mean, it's pretty unique in general. How did you come up with it?
Well, in college, I really liked to draw sexy demon ladies. And I did that pretty frequently. And then one day I was like, I really want to make this a character. Yo, what's up, Katie? Good to have you here. But yeah, and Katie's heard this spill. I just made so many sexy demon ladies, and I wanted to make this one a character. I started experimenting with that on Webtoons, and like I've always wanted to make stories, and but I had never actually took that step as much as I wanted to. I actually took a step back in 2016. I had this huge story that I wanted to try and do, this massive fantasy story. I still plan on doing it. But I took the first steps, made the first few pages, and I took it up to Low Mill. And there was Kevin and Nathan are professional comic book artists up there. I took these pages up there to them, and they were like, wow, you took the first few steps to do this, but we're gonna dissect these pages real quick. And they just slaughtered these pages, like with composition and panels and stuff, because I didn't know what I was doing when I made those pages. And so they're like, yeah, you probably want this facing this way, and you kind of want the eye to flow down the page this way, and you want to, you do this and do that. And so I was like, crap, I got to redo everything.
Right. I know one thing, me being an artist myself and about sixth grade, I finally started getting the hang of everything, getting dimensions, getting the structure of everything. But one of the hardest things that I had a problem with for a long time, and that finally went into sync, is drawing the female body, because you got to draw it with a little finesse, and it can't be so muscular. It can't be this. It can't be that. You got to have a little bit of finesse to it. And it took me a little while to understand how to draw that in perspective to get everything in. Was that the same way for you as well?
Yeah. There was kind of an ebb and flow through like the 2010s to 2020 when I was trying to do art and everything. Sometimes I had my peaks and my valleys in how I felt that I was doing. But once I started committing to it, these 2 or 3 years ago, I've put in hundreds and hundreds of hours now. And things that would have taken me, 20 hours to figure out before, it now takes me less than an hour. There are some dynamic poses that you really got to figure out, and sometimes you just got to use a reference or use a model to kind of see how these things lay out. But I take it as and this happened with all the references I did. Still life, florals, any still life I did, it imprinted something in me that, even if I'm not drawing the same plant or like the same person, my brain just knows how to kind of fill in the blanks now because it did it before. So now there's kind of a muscle memory or something.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that. As soon as you start drawing it, then you'll never really forget it. And then even if you haven't picked up a pencil for a while, might be about 6 months, 7 months, and then all of a sudden you pick it up again. Within a matter of minutes, it starts coming right back. It's just like that flow. You get in that mindset, and then just you take off with it.
Yeah.
Did you have any inspirational artists growing up as a kid? I mean, I know one of mine was Stan Lee. So who was yours?
Well, it really wasn't so much artists. Like I didn't learn, like my little child brain never grew up to be out of a child brain for a lot until I was like 23. So, like I didn't see things as like an artist made this. I just saw things. So like Gargoyles was a huge inspiration to me. Courage the Cowardly Dog was a huge inspiration to me. Those kind of things were, a big inspiration, but like I don't know who did that. I don't know their name, and
Right.
it's kind of sad. I wish I did,
right.
But I don't. I was like, it's a cartoon on Cartoon Network, so. But once I got into like manga and stuff, and I watched Attack on Titan as an anime first, and when I watched it, I was like, I love this so deeply and passionately. I've got to get my hands on a manga, and I got the Attack on Titan manga, and I was like, who's the artist here? Who's the genius behind all of this? So I would say my first real artist inspiration was Hajime Isayama, the creator of Attack on Titan. Even though he's actually not that fantastic of an artist, he's still good, and he had to develop a lot. Right. His skills really laid more in the concepts and the ideas of what he made, as well as like the actual story flow. That's where his genius really took off. But yeah, I would say that was my first inspiration. And then when I was in college, I took a 19th century art history class. I did not think that this class was going to be anything special. I was like, oh man, another slog through art history class I got to get through before I can get to the cool stuff like drawing, people and figures and stuff and painting and stuff. And little did I know that this class was going to be the most fun class that I had the entire university, time that I was there, and that there was just so much to it that there's a lot that I forgot and don't remember, but there was a lot of artists in the that 19th century area. Jacques-Louis David, who made the Oath of the Huraishi, was super, super fun to look at. And then Eugene Delacroix, who made the Death of King Sardanapalus. I think my share screen is still down there, so I can just...
It is.
Pull this up real quick.
There.
So like the Oath of the Huraishi here. I'm not getting images. But yeah, you can see.
There it is. Yeah.
I just love this. I just loved it when our professor was talking about it, talking about the story behind getting it made, the story of it being up in a salon their French salon viewings for all the paintings.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you would akin that to like a convention. Artists would get together, post up all their art, and there was like categories and awards that would be given out to art in France at the time. And then this was made for a king. He asked for something else. He had like requested some completely different like scenario, and Jacques was just like, okay, I'm gonna make whatever I want to make, and he just pulled this up, and the king's like, I love it. So he tried to give the king a big fu, and it didn't work. But just this little story like that really made these paintings pop for me.
Did you ever try, or was it an assignment to try to do one of your own similar, anything like that?
No, primarily because this was a history class, so we were just primarily just trying to get through the guts of like, why does the painting exist, and who was the artist, and what was the time frame, the context around the paintings. So that's and then we would talk about like the composition of it, and the symbolism that they would input in these things. So this was another one that I loved, and all these things really pointed back to Attack on Titan for me, or maybe a Game of Thrones kind of inspiration, like the other way around. So so and that was the assignment, and was pulling one of these paintings that we had studied into our modern world in a comparison, and seeing how like there's a relation. So I did that, and that was fun, and it really helps like get an idea of what you're trying to analyze. But yeah, I mean, these were inspirations to me.
Definitely, when you look at pictures like that, there's always a lot of ways you can interpret what was going on there at the time. And I've seen a lot of things in the paranormal as well, with pictures similar to those like you were talking about. So I can relate to that type of art, or how people has done it in structure for that, because like I said, they could say several different meanings in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of the challenge of art. It's like, it's kind of the grace of art that you can kind of put an interpretation on it, as long as it makes a little bit of sense. People can kind of go with it, but it's also important to kind of like try and actually, once you have the context of like a painting, putting an interpretation on it might carry a good bit more weight.
Oh yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
But yeah, there's those two really stood out to me. I was thinking about doing this one with Attack on Titan in my final, but I ended up doing this one with the Red Wedding scene from Game of Thrones. If anybody is familiar with that.
Yeah.
So, but if that's all I wanted to show. If you want to take that,
I think it's beautiful. So I just left it up for a while. Looks really good. I have my TV on YouTube to make sure everything looks right. It looks really good. So. And I put the warning up. It's adult so if anybody watches, they can't say that's not good. Yeah.
Right. Like I said, so when you draw out your panels, do you draw out the whole page and divide it up, or do you actually stick figure your panels in when you do them, when you start drawing
them? My first step is to make a thumbnail, and a lot of people don't do that, or at least. So I listened to a comic podcast called Comic Lab, where these two guys will kind of give out the secrets of how they have made a career over the past 25 years doing web comics. And they have self-admittedly been like, we don't do thumbnails, though we highly recommend that you do thumbnails. This is a don't do, do as we say, not as we do kind of situation. So but I make thumbnails because it really does help. Like it super duper like helps. Right. So I have my script next to me and I have a sketchbook and I just start trying, and I make the box for the paper, and then I make another box of where the margins might need to be. And then I just start putting in panels to kind of see how they fit. I try to make panels that kind of, something I kind of didn't really think about too much until recently. Scott McCloud has a guide, and he went over the use of timing that you can use in panels, as well as I saw a documentary on Jeff Smith that did the book Bone, graphic novel Bone, where he used like long panels to kind of show, the sense of falling, to kind of give it a little bit more oomph.
Right.
And how he used negative space, and then how he would plant detail in different areas. So I'm starting to take that more into account. But just even having a basic layout, it was really helpful to have a thumbnail. And then with the thumbnail, I get it on the actual piece of paper, and sketch it. So I try and sketch it with as much energy as I can give it, an exaggeration, and then and then I flip it. And this is also a tip that I got from Kevin at Low Mill. He says always flip it so that you have an orientation difference, so that you can see things that you don't normally see with a different perspective. And so I'll flip it and put it on a light box and draw it again, just tighter, and fix things that I think look weird, like that I don't think look right.
Yeah, kind of clean them up.
Yeah. And then that goes digitally onto the computer. It's the wrong way, so I flip it again, and then again I might see some things that are weird. The more I've done it, the less I see problems, or the easier it is to fix them. So and then from there it just develops into the page.
So one of the other things that I'm going to ask you, action scenes, and after you write the script for it and you get to determine what you're going to put in it, how do you determine how exactly you're going to draw that action scene the way you want it, and from what angle?
Well, that's kind of where the creativity takes over. I want to make sure that when something happens, you know exactly what's going on. I don't want it to be very, I don't want it to be obscure, in how a punch connected or how a kick landed or something. I really want it to be clear as to how the action's happening. So that kind of plays a part in the in making it. I don't want to go way overly complicated in a panel, in a shot, because I might not have the skill set to tackle that right. So as my skills develop, the shots can get more dynamic. But I try to use what I've got in my toolbox to make it as fun of an experience as possible. And there are moments in a fight scene that you want to happen, but everything in between is just kind of like, let's play with it. That's how that's a little bit of the fun.
Well, I agree. You were going to say something a second ago, Gwen, and I cut you off, and I apologize. What were you going to say?
I have no idea.
I was going to ask him, just like one panel, how long does that take you? I mean, I can't even imagine how long to get
one
it.
Panel?
Yeah.
Or one page?
I guess, or one page. Yeah, one page, I guess.
Generally, it takes anywhere from 7 to 10 hours for a page. Some pages have taken as long as 16. And some pages have taken as little as 6 or 5. But that depends on a lot. But generally, I land on the 8 to 9 hour area. And I know that.
That's a lot.
My program has a little thing that shows me like a running time of my stylist working on it. So it'll give me like the time that I have worked on this file in the computer, but that doesn't count the thumbnailing and the sketching, the resketching. That could be as long as an extra hour or 2 hours. So.
That's still a lot, and you do very well. So yeah, I can't draw stick figures, but that one over there he can draw. So yeah.
I know one thing. I remember when I used to draw stick figures, and then, like I said, once you start getting the concept of dimension and how everything's put together, and I think what really fell into place with me is I started drawing a horse for a project one time, and that's when it started taking the dimension, the way the horse was, the structure was. Then I got into the muscle and looking at it, because I had to make a horse for the report that I was doing. I had to draw one out, and then I had to draw the knight's armor with it. So everything started to take full effect. And a buddy of mine really could draw at the time, and I was always envious of him and always hung around with him and learned stuff from him. And like I said, we were about 6th grade at the time. And finally, it just clicked, and everybody thought he drew it for me. And I was the one starting to draw, because everything started falling into place where, like I said, you understand that dimension and how it looks. And then once we got into 7th grade, we started taking industrial arts class, and then we used to do 3D drawings, for blueprints and everything else. And then that's really when I started taking off with things. And it's really cool once you figure out the dimension and how everything's laid out. But it's pretty awesome. I mean, I wish I had some of the new tools like you guys got with the pads and stuff. Yeah, because you can sketch it out there. Because I still do it on the paper. I still do paperwork, and the pencil and ink.
Yeah, I might go back to inking my pages when I do the flip and they're on the wrong side. I still usually just ink them anyways, just to have original art. But I haven't done that in a while. They're all the sketch, the sketch layer. But yeah, it's the accessibility has gotten really, really good. And I want to take full advantage of that, because people didn't have that opportunity to be independent and productive, 30 or 40 years ago, as easily as they do now. So I want to be able to use that to my advantage, and have this independence and these platforms like YouTube and stuff to try and broadcast it. So I don't want to
I have a question
squander my blessings.
One of the inked pages, have you ever thought of auctioning it off to try to finish funding the Kickstart?
I did that last time on the last Kickstarter. Shipping and stuff like that would be just logistics that I haven't tackled yet. Because you want to make sure that it's like taken care of when it gets to the person. And especially packaged, and then on top of that they have the rewards that they got, so I don't I'm gonna have to fit all that into it as well. They're for sale, So when I go to a convention and I have my binders out, if somebody, is
I saw them
curious,
last year. Yeah.
I'll sell them. And
I was just curious as to a way to help you make money.
yeah. No, I would I would like to make a t-shirt tier on the Kickstarter to help fund it, but again, usually there hasn't been a whole lot of demand for the t-shirts, and again, it's a shipping logistics thing to tackle that I just haven't figured out yet. So I'm trying to keep it simple.
Yeah. I actually donated one of the drawings I had for my backgrounds when I was on the old team. It was called the Wolf Pack, and I drew wolves. It was in the background, and I had them where the blood was kind of dripping off. Some of them was all black and white, and I actually had all the team sign it when I gave it to the person that won it. But just to send it off, I put it like in a hard case, like a toilet paper type roll, but the hard tube.
Yeah.
And put caps on the end of it so it wouldn't get damaged in the process. And then I stuck it in one of the envelopes because it was only really about that long, about that big. It was like about 8 by 8 or so. And it was like $25 just to send it to them, just to make sure it got there in one piece, just for that one drawing. And but yeah, it was definitely cool.
Yeah, I gotta I gotta look at some of your stuff, Shawn.
I will give you some pictures and send them to you here. I was thinking about getting a few so we could pop them up and you could look at them, but I'll have to go up and dig out my old books for some of the comics that I drew back in the day. Because like I said, me and about 4 buddies actually drew 3 comic books, got them all ready to go back in 91. And we were getting ready to publish it and wanted to publish it and everything. And then we come into a copyright problem and that's something I asked you before. And because I know even if you have a copyright, they can take almost 90% of the character and take it from you. And I think that's just utterly ridiculous because you can take the image of Superman, change his color of his outfit, change the letter on his chest, change the origin from where he came from, but it still looks like Superman, and they can take it from you. And we've all got unique characters that's never been released because we've got mutants and vigilantes and we even drew the story here where I live at and in neighboring towns where a murder took place. And it's kind of graphic because it's actually got steak knives in one of the victims' eyes, and they're hanging off the shower rods and everything else, and they end up finding this special armor, and one of the guys became a vigilante, and then another guy actually transported himself into a robot by accident. So he's freaking out on how to still be human, but he's not human because he's afraid to get around water because he's all electronic now and everything else. He's got machine guns and stuff. So they end up teaming up and taking on a drug cartel guy that we did here. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds intense and fun.
It does.
But yeah, I love to draw. And when I seen you talking on there, I was like, yeah, this guy's pretty cool. And I'm going to have to check out some of his stuff. And you've got some amazing work for sure.
I appreciate it. Yeah, if all else fails, I'm still going to be trying to do it, so
I have faith that we try to advertise. Do you have I know you have a poster that we've been advertising, but do you have a little, how I do what I call the little mini commercials to advertise on our network before the shows? Do you have anything like that with different stuff or no?
No, not on hand.
Okay.
Video just is not my strong point. That's been like the hardest thing to face. I dreaded it last time doing a video for the Kickstarter, and I dreaded it this time doing a video for the Kickstarter. And I don't think either one of them are effective. But it's all I had to to work with, and it was too short notice because I'm like, maybe I could do a skit, but like I got to get like, 3 people on board and like line up a time to like do filming. And
I was
like,
talking about is just a simple thing that we can put out there for you, like
well, yeah,
a couple pictures or something, and your information.
Yeah,
just
even that is, I don't have it, and like I don't know how I would make one. I don't know how to make one and make it effective.
Right.
Maybe we can sit down and help him out with that.
That's what I was going to say. You need to talk to me later because okay. I want this to go so bad. So you guys, if anybody's watching now, or because we do have people that come back and just watch it, and we have our diehards and everything, and the counters that you see, if you can see any, those are not right. So anybody, even whatever you can give to help him, I think it's great. I saw some of his stuff in person, and it was very good. Very good.
Yeah, we've got a couple of them here we can show.
Yeah, show some of it. It's like great. This one.
I mean, he goes into pretty good detail with some of his stuff. He's got some shadowing and shading in there. And it looks like he draws panels pretty clean, too.
You got to pick and choose where you're going to have all the detail and where you're not going to emphasize detail. So... That one was a fun one to draw. Cool. I really loved
that. That looks fun.
I can't wait for Michael to get back into the picture in issue 4.
That definitely looks like one when you start drawing it, you just get lost in the drawing.
Yeah.
That's definitely pretty cool.
Are you going to have T-shirts and things at the Paracon in Alabama?
Yes. Mm-hmm. One of the things that
everybody. Sorry, Shawn, but why don't you tell everybody when Shawn gets done with his question, like what are all you going to? If you have a list or anything like that, go ahead, Shawn. Sorry about that.
Just say one of the things that we were kind of doing back in the day too, and this might help you. Take one of those drawings you got for those panels, put it on your shirt. And then put your logo on the back of it. And then you can sign your shirts. That'd be an awesome thing.
I basically did that with my first shirt. Only it was the reverse. It was a design that I did in my sketchbook, and then I took it and inked it and used it for a lot of my marketing. And then I put it on a T-shirt. And then in issue 2, I actually used it for the panel. When Envy first comes out of Jason, I could pull it up but I'll have to just quickly skim for it. Is page it's my thumbnail for this one. So it's super zoomed in here. Yeah.
Do you want me to show it? You ready?
Yeah. So this one where she's kind of coming together as flesh, that was on a T-shirt, and that sold pretty good. But it's got to mean something. It's kind of like, this had a big cool factor. Like this was like really cool. And it was also very, very obvious, like kind of what's going on with it. So people, I think, really were attracted to it as a T-shirt. And I also was like selling them for like $25 at the time. And ever since I tried to make another one with the that baptism of Belial from issue 2, which is like soon in the same, it's got his face on it. I made another T-shirt with that, like the one with the sticker. that panel there.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't been able to really sell it.
That is it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all just had it pulled up. I forgot.
Interesting.
So t-shirts are tricky.
Yeah.
And they're a large investment.
Okay, so why don't you tell everybody where you're going to be at soon or next? Yeah.
So I will be.
We have that.
The next thing is in Huntsville at the Deep. I'll be there for Free Comic Book Day when that kicks off. I'll be there just for the day, and then I have a long pause until August. And then I have this Deep South Paracomic-Con. I'll be a guest there, and you can come take pictures, get stuff signed, and then in August, the last day of August, is the Animeverse convention in Chattanooga, and that's going to have like a crossover of anime stuff and like the WrestleMania and WWE. Mm-hmm. Wrestling kind of stuff, which is going to be a real fun mix in Chattanooga. So that's all I have on the docket this year. I'm really trying to get into the Huntsville Expo. Our pop culture expo here is massive. They were going to have Zachary Levi there, but he had to dip. But they still have like this the girl that played in My Name Is Earl. I can't remember her name.
Oh,
William Shatner, Weird Al. All of them, they have a lot of guests going this year, and so it's a massive event. And I'm going to try and get into it next year.
That's awesome. Well, we definitely will advertise for you. I've actually put it on my show for the Eternal X Wolfpack Paranormal. I put it on the ending credits there and showed it for you as well. And I will keep putting it out there for you as well. I think you're an up and coming great artist, and I think a lot of people should see it for sure. And it's definitely an interesting storyline as well. So I do have one last question real quick before we take off. How long does it take you to do this?
That is one of the most frequently asked questions. It takes me a little less than an hour. It takes me about 40 minutes to get my makeup on. Putting on the outfit itself is pretty quick. I'll have my hair back and I'll have all my makeup on ready to go. And then I'll get to the event, and then that's when I put my horns on, and I might put my contact lenses in, and then let the hair down.
Do you ever?
So I remember last year you were having shoe issues. Did you get those done? Get those adjusted?
That's just that just comes with the territory when you're wearing heels.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. They make good pictures, though.
Definitely unique. Have you ever scared anybody and they just kind of look at you funny? And
I scared Jeff last year.
He did.
I don't think he likes it. A lot of people come up to the booth, especially kids, and they'll ask a question, and they haven't heard me speak yet, and I'll say something, and they. Yeah, this is a comic, and yeah, it's probably not for you. You might be a little bit too young. Yeah, I mean, it's not just kids, but it's usually them. They always have to have like a double take or a triple take.
Did it take you a while to get used to contacts?
It's I've worn contact lenses since I was in 5th grade, so was no big deal putting contact lenses in. Now they are a little different than regular contact lenses.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a little bit more slippery and like they don't cup as well, so it's harder to get them to suction to your eye when they're a colored contact. But it really was not too much of a hassle.
Can you actually see out of them? Well,
you have a little bit of white in the peripheral, like just a little bit of a vignette of white. But other than that, you can see out of them. The main thing is that they start to feel heavy because I'll put them over my regular contact lenses. And they'll start to feel heavy and my eye might feel a little dry, but I always bring glasses to kind of, if it's too uncomfortable, I'll swap out of them.
Right.
I know. I bought me a set of werewolf ones because I dress up for a werewolf for the haunted house when I used to work at it for the Cub Scouts or the Boy Scouts and stuff. And I was trying to get them in my eyes, and I just could not get them in. And I had those awesome wolf eyes because I got those lock-on teeth, the porcelain lock-on ones that adjust to you and everything. But I dressed up as the werewolf in there, and I actually had college kids turning around going the other way and scaring them because once they realized it wasn't a mask and it was actually me, they got to worrying about it a little bit because I let my hair grow out, let my beard grow out, and I have everything and I buff on it.
Wolfman.
Yeah, and it was perfect. And they'd start coming around the corner. I'd tell them I'm smelling them, and there's like, what? And then they don't see me because I'm staying in the shadow in the corners. And I would come out after them, and they'd have the rubber bars behind that I was in. And they didn't realize I could come out of the bars. And once I come out of the bars, I would chase them back down the hall. Oh, it was hilarious. The college guys were literally scared, and their girlfriends were laughing at them. It was funny. It was the best. That was one of the best times dressing up, because like I said, it took about 6 hours to do it, but yeah, it's awesome.
And when I first got contact lenses, it was a hassle. I was like crying because it's just because once you got them in, then you had to get them out for the first time. So then you're like, I can't get them. I'm going to be stuck with these for the rest of my life. So
that's my problem, is getting them out. I'm like, oh, geez. Please, somebody come get these things. Yeah.
And it's your own eyeball, so then you have other people trying to pick at your eyeball. It's like, that's not going to work.
Oh, and have you tried the little suction thing that you put on it? The little, it's really, it's weird looking. I've tried everything. But I have eye issues, so I have had to give up on contacts. So it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of scaring people, I'll just be minding my business in that outfit, and Jeff will be trying to cast an exorcism from the distance. So
I swear, if I could do it, I would put you right next to him this year if he comes.
That's okay. You don't have to do that.
Grab a chair, let him sit with you guys.
Yeah, you have to share a booth. No, just sorry.
I always think that's the great thing when you're able to dress up and actually scare people with it, and they freak out. That's the look on their face is priceless.
Hello, Danny.
So,
thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
It's definitely priceless when you get to freak people out doing that, and it's fun. Yeah. And Halloween's Shawn, one of my favorite holidays.
All right, this is the advertisement, right? And this the right one?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Okay, everybody that's watching, please go support him. Go support Austin. He's awesome.
Yep, he's pretty awesome.
Yeah, this needs to be done. So he's got, how long do you have? A couple weeks?
I got 2 weeks on it.
It's the third? Is it the third? Did I look at it right? Or
it's second.
Second.
It's the first or second.
Let's see. Let me pull it back up.
It's about 2 weeks.
Oh,
2
it
weeks
says here the project.
No,
We
that's
funded
not
if it
right. I
reaches
know it's
goal
on
by
your
Saturday,
website.
May 3rd.
Yeah, see,
I
that's
thought
the
I
day
said
of
it
our.
on a Friday, but Saturday's fine too. But
Well, that's
I'd
the
like it
day
on.
of our powwow, actually.
Mhm.
So I would love for you to message us, and I'm crossing my fingers that it'll go.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to know
Sure.
progress. Yes, because we'll run this every day for you. Matter of fact, all the shows I'll try to do it maybe in the middle. That's when the most people are watching. I'll try to do that.
And then,
I'll
like
try
I
to
said,
remember.
I've been advertising it on my show starting
Mhm.
last week. So it's definitely starting to get some time on it. So you're getting out there for sure.
Awesome.
And we'll try to get everybody to share it. That'd be wonderful. If you're on here, yeah, share it out for Austin, okay? Because he needs to get this. Oh, here we go. Well, there we go.
I got two of the long one, just in
Mhm.
case the short one, the redirect doesn't work. And then there's my website that also has a link to it in the banner. So
Okay.
there's
That's your
ways to
short
get.
one. Yeah, just look him up. You can find a way. Don't worry. But he's trying to get this. Am I saying it right? Published or
Yeah. I guess
yeah, sort of. Okay.
so, self-published.
There you go.
It's weird
That's
to say that because I'm just like send it to the printer and they make it for me. It's like it's so weird to call that publishing, but yeah, I guess so.
But it is. It
Mhm.
absolutely is. So, and if you come to Deep South or anywhere else he's at, he'll have some of his creations, T-shirts,
Drawings.
I have
all kinds of things. All kinds
enamel
of things.
pin, original art, bookmarks, stickers, and if this funds, I'm going to have 2 or 3 more new sticker designs come out. I think my stickers have got grown a little stale. There was a popular one that sold out. I need to get a reprint of it, and then I've got 3 T-shirt designs, 2 of them in all sizes still right now.
Cool.
So yeah, and then I'm going to have all the variant covers, all the standard covers, all that will be at conventions. But again, you're getting a premium deal here, 10 to 20% off each of these tier rewards. So I would take advantage of getting these deals.
Absolutely. And I know my girl Lee, she loves any kind of comics, but she loves you. So you have been adopted. She was watching, but she may be with her honey right now. So, but I know she'll go back and watch.
Gwen, maybe he said, he wanted to have kind of something of his own in the future. Maybe we can pull him.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to him after the show. If you can hold on for just a minute,
Okay.
I'll try to get your little what you wanted done, and maybe if you'd let us broadcast it, that'd be awesome. So, I'm going to work on that for you. So, well, guys, it's over an hour, which is fine. We don't have anything else tonight. But please support Austin, and we're gonna. I probably will run this episode again just because I just want you to get this done so bad. I just really
Yeah, most definitely.
I do. I do. You've been adopted, so we're gonna support you.
It.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll get done. Please,
Mm-hmm.
And
it's well worth it.
And definitely, if you've missed what we've talked about and want to see Austin again, he'll be coming on
June something.
Trying to think of here. June 1st on Eternal X Wolfpack Paranormal. We'll have him on there as well.
That's Sunday nights. So.
I'll be on Amy and Kevin's show, Wicked Paranormal, next Wednesday, and then Wednesday after that, I'll be on Lee's show. So
that's awesome.
Which one?
I'm glad you're.
Which show?
Litriana's. I don't remember if she didn't tell me which one exactly it is. So I don't know.
Well, I'm her producer, and I have so much going on in the brain, I get scrambled, so I can't remember which one. But yeah,
But we're
trying to be out there as much as possible.
Yeah, most definitely. And I will help you as well. Just like I said, we've been advertising it on the Eternal X Wolf Pack as well. So this is cool. This is awesome. And I hope you get her off the ground and make something out of this for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Well, we're going to drop you down for a second. And if you'll hold on, I'm going to try to help you out with what you wanted done. So just hang on with us for a minute.
All right.
So I'm going to drop you down. And thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And we are actually, the guest that we were supposed to have next week, we're going to have to reschedule. So I don't know who to tell you yet, but we will put it out there. Oh, yep. Kathy, thank you. Kathy's sharing it out and everything. Thank you. And we'll let you guys know. Of course, I always make the little commercials and we advertise. So again, thank you for joining. Support Austin and Shawn. What else? What do you got for us?
This week now we have on the Eternal X Wolf Pack Paranormal coming up on Sunday at 7 p.m. Central. We will have the CEO of All Access Network Television.
Yes.
Miss Triana Brown. She will be my guest, and we'll be talking about the network and some paranormal stuff as well. And what's to come when I go visit them, May 3rd, maybe.
So we're going to have a good time, you guys. Yep. All right. Well, we're going to tell you good night. Thanks for joining, and we will see you next week or Sunday on his show, or one of the other shows on the network. So any of them, thank you for viewing. And you want to tell them good night? Close us out.
Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you this weekend, and have fun. Bye.